Hey guys, welcome back. I have been asked a few times if I could post my makeup routine, and I thought about that, and I think I may post a few different videos just because I have a few different ways that I do my eye makeup on a daily basis. This is one of them that does incorporate my Armani eye tint. I talk about that thing all the time, so I thought I would just throw a video out here today that is just an easy, everyday look for mature eyes, hooded eyes, anyone who wants a very quick, easy eye look. If you have a cream or a liquid or a stick type product, you can do this eye look, and it only requires a couple of products. I am also going to be using shadow as liner. I'm not ecstatic with the brush that I'm using to line with, but I'm making do because I wanted to get this video out there. I think in my next video I will use pencil liner and then just straight shadows for you guys, and I am going to be posting at some point a liner video for hooded eyes. I just kind of wanted to do just an easy everyday eye look. Today I'm going to be using the Too Faced Naturalized palette for my shadows, and my liner color is in here also. The first thing that I do anytime I do anything really is I use a transition shade. And if you have hooded eyes or a lot of space below the brow, a transition shade is super important. And today I'm going to be using this shade right here, which is called Nude. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And I am also using my Sigma tapered blending brush E40 for this look. I love this brush because it's got just a nice spread at the end here that really just, if you have a lot of space up here, which as we age things kind of start to droop, and you do have a lot of space up here, it just gives you a great amount of coverage for this area, and you can do a great, wiper motion or circles and just cover a lot of area. So I'm going to just, dip that in a little bit. After I've gotten my shadow on the brush and I've shaken off the excess, I make sure to place the brush first where I want to deposit the most color. So, some people that makes sense. Some people have never really thought about that before, but obviously where you place the brush first is where you're going to get the most color. So for me, that is the outer portion right about here. And that's where I'm going to start my transition shade. So, if you want to do circular motions or you want to do a windshield wiper motion, that's okay too. But the important thing for me is I kind of come up kind of from below and look straight forward into a mirror. If you don't look straight forward into a mirror, you won't know where you need shadow. Because when you look down into a mirror, you tend to put color more in your crease, and then when you look up, it disappears, right? So, if you look straight into a mirror and then you realize, okay, I need all this color right here below my brow, you can get the color there. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna put this transition shade just kind of in the crease and all right here. And just kind of get a little shadow there. That way it's not such an expanse of white. And that's it. So, and it's really whatever you're comfortable with. I don't know. I just kind of, sometimes I go in circular motions and sometimes I go in windshield wiper. Sometimes I do a combination of both. So, and sometimes I use a peachy shade for up here, a peachy pink shade, just depends on what I'm in the mood for. And I go almost all the way up to the brow because I feel like I look really tired if I have a lot of white space showing right there. So you can see, I hope you can see, like there's some depth on that eye versus this eye. I'm going to do the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so I hope the lighting is reading that those colors are even. Sometimes the shadows might play a little differently, but the key, again, looking straight forward into a mirror and also coming kind of up from the bottom with this brush will help you get a good angle versus coming straight forward, then you're having to dig in. A little tidbit today. Now I'm going to take my eye tint, which, if you've watched, I think I've had this in a favorite. If I haven't, then I need to, but I've also done a comparison of this with the Maybelline color tattoos, as well as the liquid, the wand color tattoos, which I do not like, but I like these. The Maybelline color tattoo, this one is 25 Bad to the Bronze. It is a decent Not perfect, but it's a decent alternative to the Armani eye tint in Cold Copper, which is a holy grail product for me. I use this probably 3 times a week at least. So I take this and I just swipe it across my lid. And it is that easy, and then I just smudge it out with my finger a little bit. And since I have time to work with it, it's a really great product. I re-dip it, which sometimes I re-dip it and sometimes I just turn it around and use the other side. And then I swipe it on my other lid. And swipe it with my finger. So I have it on my lids, and then I take, it's a Real Technique shading brush, and I just kind of blend that into my transition color. So this is the look that you guys see on me a lot. I mean, I don't wear this every single day, but you guys do see this on me a lot. Sometimes I bring it more into the crease than others, and sometimes I keep it more on the lid. But I wear Cold Copper a lot. That's what I do on the lid, and I'm done. And you can do the same thing if you want a less expensive alternative. Put it on with your fingers and brush it on with the brush. Done. So now I'm going back to my palette, and I am going to put on Heaven. I have no idea what brush this is. It is an old Sephora Pro brush. It actually says Sephora Professional on it, written out, and it's just kind of a little flat eyeshadow brush. And I am going to take Heaven and just put that lightly on the brow bone. I think my bangs are getting a little bit longer. And that's it. And I'm going to put a little bit in the inner corner just to brighten that area up. I'm very, very dark there, as we all know. So that's what I do there. And now I'm going to go back to this Nudie shade, which I could have done this before, I just didn't, and take this Morphe M508 brush, and I'm going to dip this back in here, tap off the excess, and I'm going to run this just lightly under my lower lash line. And this just kind of helps give the illusion that my eyes are a little bit bigger than they are. Versus putting a really dark shade underneath. And it just kind of, it keeps it natural looking, but I don't know, it just does something to wake up the eye a little bit more in more of a natural way. And I have done the transition and the lining underneath with bronzer before too. So if you're on a trip or something and you don't want to bring, you know, a whole palette, and you just want to bring, say, an eye tint, a highlighter, you could do the highlighter here, and you could bring your bronzer, and you're done. So now I'm going to line. And like I said before, I'm not very happy with the eyeliner brush that I'm using. I really like my MAC 22 brush that I used forever, but it is splaying out, so I probably need to go replace it with, I think, the 226. I picked up this, it's not even labeled, this NARS brush. I don't know, it's got a red end on it, the other day. And it's a little stiff. I think it's gonna work better for gel liner. What I'm gonna use today is this Erotica shade here. I love lining with this. It's shimmery, but it's not over the top shimmery, and it just is such a pretty color. It's not harsh and black, but it shows up really nicely. I love using shadow or pencil as a liner versus liquid. It's so much less harsh. It just looks really nice, and it's so much easier on a day-to-day basis for me. So I take my brush and I dampen it very lightly. I just dip it in either Fix Plus or water. I mean, you can lick your brush if you want to, whatever works for you. I dip it in there, and then I just lightly dip it in a little bit on here. And again, tap off the excess so that you don't have it going all over the place. I like to make my eyes appear a little bit wider apart, so a lot of times I will not go all the way in. I'll just start maybe about 2/3 of the way in when I line. And I'll just take this brush and kind of wiggle it right at the lash line, and maybe just a little bit above. It's so interesting trying to explain this while I do it. I've never really explained it out loud before. So I just kind of wiggle it, and it is good to have kind of a stiff brush there. And then I'll get some more on my brush. And here's where that lifting part comes from at the end of the eye. I just take it on the same line as this bottom line of my eye. And again, I'm looking straight forward, otherwise my eye will droop, and I just take it and I just do a little line right there. A teeny tiny little line. Can you see that? And that's it. And then I just kind of fill it in. I just fill it in and kind of build it up. And see where it takes me. And I mean, I can line my eye in like a minute. I can do both eyes in probably 2 or 3 minutes doing this way. And so if I want it longer, I'll just take it out longer and I'll make it darker. But that's really all I do on a daily basis, to line my eyes, and I'm done. And sometimes you might see that the line's a little bit longer. That's pretty much it. You guys have seen my eyeliner and I've been asked a lot how I do it. That's it. I've been talking this whole time and that's been what, 30 seconds? And it's important that you look straight forward. That way your line stays consistent and straight. So let's see if I can turn around and do this other eye. So sometimes what I'll do, just to add a little bit of oomph, I'll just kind of drag that color underneath the eye a little bit. Just, I mean, you might not even be able to tell. And that's really it. I'm gonna curl my lashes and add mascara, and I'll be right back. I do have mascara on, and I did realize that I did not blend that brow bone color, so I just took my Lexi blending brush and blended that out really quickly. I know I talked a lot during this, but I mean, it doesn't take long to do at all, and for me, it makes a big difference. It's a very simple look. I mean, it's just a cream or liquid or stick shadow on the lid and a transition color and a highlight and liner, and that's it. But it really does make a difference in the way my eyes look, just doing those small steps. And it's easy to do on a work day or a day when you are in a hurry. So that is just one of my very consistent staple makeup looks. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you have a staple makeup look that works for you, feel free to share it down below. I'd love to hear what you do. And I will post another one upcoming. I'm not sure when that'll be, but I'll get one out there again soon. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would love it if you did so. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.